Hello everybody, welcome back to the Mermaid's Cave, or actually today we look like we're in a butterfly garden. I'm Leslie Levison, and we are on an amazing Crazy Quilt adventure together. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this butterfly using a double cast on stitch and a lazy daisy stitch in silk ribbon. The sample that I had up there originally was made in Rachel or Rachelette, which doesn't seem to be available much anymore. So I'm going to show you this in silk ribbon. To begin, we're going to thread up a milliner's needle with two strands of a number 8 pearl cotton. Okay. And we're going to come down about 5/8 of an inch and bring your needle back up in the same spot, okay? Like so. So I have a space there. Now I'm going to just separate my thread out, my two strands, so that I can part them like so. All right, so now I have my two strands separated apart. And we're going to work a cast-on stitch. If you're a knitter, you know how to do a cast-on stitch. If you're not a knitter like me, then that's all you're going to know how to do is a cast-on stitch, right? You're not going to know all the other fancy knitting stuff. So a cast-on stitch, it doesn't matter if you start with your left hand or your right hand. You're going to wrap the thread around your finger once and then put your needle into that loop and pull it down. And then go to the other side and do the same thing. So I'm going around my finger once, pulling it down, and we're just going to keep going back and forth like that until we've gotten enough length to cover the distance that I left in the fabric when I put my needle in and out. I hope that makes sense. So just pretend there's some really nice music playing right now. Maybe some Led Zeppelin, maybe some Mozart, whatever rocks your boat. And if you're stitching along with me, you should have enough time here to get your whole butterfly body stitched onto the needle. I'm changing up the format a little bit of how I'm doing these videos. Rather than try to squeeze in what would normally be a 2-hour class into a 15 or 18-minute video, I'm just going to do one technique at a time. So I think that'll work better, seeing as my editing skills are not that good. And I'll work on that separately. Okay, I think I have enough here. Oops. Okay, so now I've got a length. I'm going to hold on to those stitches. I don't want them to go boing. So I'm going to hold on and pull my needle through. That's the beauty of a milliner's needle, is that it works really well. It goes right through. Get that flat so you can see what happens here. And then you're just going to tease the threads over a little bit. And there you have your butterfly body. I'm going to show you, this is what I did before. And you can see I did it in 2 different colors of the number 8 pearl, so you can see how it looks as a stitch. But of course the butterfly doesn't have a multicolored body, so I tend to use only one color at a time. Okay. So now after you've got that stitch made, you're just going to take your needle down and we're going to just knot it off as usual. and clip that thread. Okay, now to the fun part. Now we're going to make our butterfly. I am using a 7mm silk ribbon. This is from River Silks. I buy it at Thistle Needleworks in Wethersfield, Connecticut. It's not something you're going to find at one of the big box stores. You have to go to a needlework store or look for it online. So I use the River Silks, and the 7mm is going to make a really pretty butterfly. What I have found, unfortunately, is that because the Rachel isn't available anymore, the Rachel and the Rachelette, there are similar threads, but they tend to be a little thinner. So it doesn't make the nice wings like the original threads did. Okay, enough of that. So here I've got my my silk ribbon threaded up. Now let's see if I can get back into the camera frame here. And I'm going to come up alongside of my body there at about a little bit below halfway. And I'm going to make a lazy daisy stitch, which we've done before. And leave it loose. Don't pull it too tight. You want your butterfly to be ethereal and delicate. Okay, so that's one. And now we're going to go to the other side and make the other lower wing. I was in Amsterdam summer before last, and I ended up missing a boat trip that I was supposed to go on. And so I went to the zoo that day, and in the zoo in Amsterdam, they had this incredible butterfly garden. And there was one butterfly that I couldn't take enough pictures of, which was the blue morph, I think it's called. And it's like brown on the outside and blue on inside. It's absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, after you've done the lower wings, then we're going to come up and do the upper wings. Now, I always make those a little bigger. And again, I'm not an insect expert, so if you know the proportions of a butterfly's wings better, by all means, do that. And now we just have one more wing to add. Again, I'm making my lazy daisy stitch, so I just go in, come up a distance away, and pull my needle over the thread. Again, you want to make sure you're not pulling it too tight. And there we have our butterfly. So I am going to, again, knot my thread off. And the little bits that's left over, we're going to save those to do Betty scrunches with, like we did a couple of episodes ago. Make my knot. Okay. Actually, I think that was the last episode. I'm going to put that away. Okay. Now we just have one more thing to add, and that is our little antenna. So I'm going to use, now I'm just using a single strand of number 8 pearl. You could also use 2 strands of floss if you'd like. You can experiment. And I'm going to do a long stem French knot. So we did French knots earlier. So instead of, I'm going to wrap it just twice, but instead of bringing my needle back down where I came up, I'm going to go a little distance. And that's going to create a little antenna with a knob at the end, like so. And I'm going to make another one. Two wraps. Go down. And there we have it. We have our little butterfly. And you can add some grasses. The one I showed you originally had all different stitches on it. Here's another one. This one, again, was done in the Rachel. And here is yet another one. This one's very pale. But you can just add all kinds of grassy type stitches underneath to make your butterflies. And here's a little butterfly garden that I was playing around with. So here I tried to put some sequins underneath. I'm still working on that idea. I'm not really happy with it yet. And there's the one I showed you earlier. And then these two are in the number 7mm silk ribbon. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me in the Mermaid's Cave. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.